Hello everybody, welcome to Friday's MCN. Here's Deadpool as normal.
Day 23. Still held captive.
You are. So yes indeed, welcome to a bit of a scaled down MCN. Basically, I need to quickly record, edit this, and then put it out because I'm recording this on Thursday, out for Friday. Mainly because we have got so much to cover. I need to try and get ahead of the game when it comes to making a side quest based video, and there's another video I have to make, and then I have to go to bed at a normal time because, as I said, Friday there's so much that's going to be covered in this live stream, which hope to see you all in. I'm going to be dropping in. I'm also going to be covering a lot of stuff, so it's going to be really fun. Do bear in mind there's a lot of things that are happening in this one, from the events, incursions for next month. We have got, you name it, Ascension's going to be kind of looked into. You're going to be getting details of the event in October. You're going to be getting so much info and more, tons of info. This is going to be like a mini roadmap. There's even a narrative roadmap, so you'll get to find out some of the teasers of champions you may be seeing. My word, it's going to be a bit of a spicy one. So that's the kind of reason that in any case, there's a couple of stories I want to go into and make this kind of a shorter MCN. So one thing that's been interesting to go over is the back end of this Mythic crystal bug. As a lot of you know, it's affected things like Alliance Wars Season 43 and kicking that off. So that's kind of the reason that that's been so scuffed. But for a lot of the players that were affected by it, I mean, here's an example of a ticket from somebody that was temporarily banned for this. To correct this issue, all items acquired from the error will be removed. This includes champion crystals, crystal shards, ISO 8 and signature levels. Additionally, any items used to rank up or level up a champion that was removed will be returned directly to your inventory or stash. The temporary suspension will be lifted once the correction has been completed. Moreover, I can verify that due to temporary account suspension, your account... you did not receive your Battlegrounds Alliance event Season 9 rank rewards. However, we are now finalizing the distribution of the Battlegrounds Alliance event Season 9 rank rewards to all the affected summoners. We expect the rewards to be provided to qualify summoners within 24 to 48 hours. So please check your in-game mail during that time for these rewards if they're yet to arrive already. So yeah, that's the weird thing. A lot of players that were affected by it, they were worried whether or not they'd actually get their Season 9 rank rewards and other things for Battlegrounds because, well, look, you've done all that work in Battlegrounds and it's gone. You'd be like, what the heck's going on with that? Because that's not what you exploited when it came to the Mythic Crystal thing. But yeah, that was an interesting thing. That was on the 30th. So that was, when was that? That was on Sunday that people were given that indication. And I guess it's just been a bit of an interesting one, whether or not people have been allowed to come back in again. But a slight twist in the tale is Armed said, obviously Armed was the person that we read the ticket from, so they don't have a timeline yet, but I've bugged them about this, but if they don't care, you'd think it'd be easy to send out, but nah. In my opinion, they should just resend them for everyone. Some people get double up for not using the glitch and the rest of us are all... Well, that would be nice. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, would be nice. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Some of these people don't have access yet to those particular awards. It's very weird. Very weird that that's the case. This is as of today that people have not got those rewards. Maybe it's a case that Kabam sent them out in game at the time everyone else was affected. Not everyone was affected, but everyone got their rewards, and it was like, yeah, I'll just send it out to everybody. Oh, hang on a minute, don't we have to hold them back for those that were banned because of the suspension, because of the Mythic Crystal thing? Yeah, that's fine. We'll just leave it. Maybe they were like that. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that was interesting to note that these particular players still haven't received their Battlegrounds rewards. So the scuffness continues. Also, did you know that there was a champion reveal for Vox and Photon? I keep everything Vox. It's like Vox Machina, which is or Machina. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I probably am. Sorry, it's probably Machina or something like that. I do need to see that one. I think there was a new season of it. I started watching a few episodes and I'm just busy all the time. It's 9 o'clock in the evening and I've got 2 more videos to make and I've got to get a good night's sleep. So it's just and the weekends I'm doing kind of videos and content and stuff. So it's when do I get in the time for these things? But yeah, Vox, Photon, out now. Really cool with the animations. I really like them. I think they're pretty good. Vox, I'm still a bit kind of like, of a character, like, why? Like, get it? It's a character. It's got some cool tie-ins, especially to being kind of like commanded by the Kree Empire, taking out Inhumans. We did a video looking at it yesterday. It's a champion. Interested to know what kind of abilities the champion will have, because that's going to be the thing. Sometimes we get a lot of these champions that are like, okay, they're really, really kind of unknown, but turn out to be really good. So, yeah, maybe there will be some fancy thing we'll find out in the deep dives over the weekend. And now let's go over a response from Kabam on the subject of relics. So it's interesting because Kabam Mike has come out to kind of like defend matters in all of that. So I want to have a look at three things that he said in response to the situation of relics. So first of all, he says relics are not dying, because this thread said relics are dying. Relics are not dying, and we are going to continue to develop content that rewards or might even require relics in the future. They're also not being paused because they're not performing well, regardless of what some very vocal people from the minority might be telling you. I don't think we say that they're not performing. It's just weird that you now... Well, here's the thing. Like, if you have a premium item, you don't take down the value of a premium item and then distribute it out to a lot of other people. But relics were treated as a premium item when they came in, and they're not a premium item now. They've depreciated heavily from where they were a premium type element to where they are not now. And as we've said before, like 250 champions plus in the game, and you have to make 250 relics. Now, if Kabam aren't able to build 250 relics because they're basically like separate little champions, then it's kind of it's just a bit weird. There's a lot of question marks for this. Relics are, as they exist right now, occupy design space that overlaps heavily with champions, making them pretty time consuming to make. Then why were they made in the first place then? I guess I better watch out because I'm one of the vocal minority. Relics as they... I'll read it again. I'm going to shut up now and just read. Relics as they exist right now occupy design space that overlaps heavily with champions, making them pretty time consuming to make. How do you create a relic that benefits the champion abilities without adding new ones, and also make that affect a few champions? We want to take the time to reevaluate the design space that relics occupy and see where they might land that they would make them less challenging to design and not cut into space that we've carved out for champion abilities of their own. I just sometimes I kind of like worry about Kabam in that particular paragraph. It's like, why would you light a firework to then return back to it before it explodes, or when it explodes? It's kind of like that. It's like, yeah, we've started a fire, and we're going to contain it. Oh, it was getting a bit wilder. Well, we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it. Oh no, we'll come back to it, and then we'll relight it again. It's like, why double-edged sword? It's like, I just don't sometimes find it's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, I try not to go down rabbit holes with stuff unless I can, because it's just like, if you're on a rabbit hole, right? There's separates into different kind of like, rabbits build different warrens and different kind of like places and stuff. You don't know what tunnel's going to lead to where. Those are kind of the things. I just try not to do that. If you can't finish something or see something through to the end, and that's a problem, isn't it? Like, I guess that's the thing with the grind show. Like, I don't do the grind show because I just run out of time available to it. But I'm one person, whereas Kabam could, you know, well, maybe they can. By this, it seems that they can't have the time space for stuff. Marvel Insider's gone. This is going to go on pause. It's very weird. In any case, moving on. Some other stuff that Kabam Mike has said. We didn't say that in response to people haven't been using them and are definitely not been buying them. That's the whole point of this post. You can say that they are relevant when Kabam themselves saying that they aren't doing well enough to continue pursuing. We didn't say any of that, and our data is showing that most players with access to relics do use them. And to be honest, I'm starting to use relics now. And that's taken a year or something like that to do. But it's only because I'm using them because well, it's annoying because if you don't use them, you get extra rotations and stuff, and you kind of think, why am I not using them? And then a lot of the time it's like, well, it's not like I don't get them. It's just that it's like another level of complexity I didn't ask for. I don't need, but I guess now I need it. And I don't want it, but I need it, apparently, because I need to have my extra 5-hit combo. I need to have my extra abilities. And I've got a video coming out at some point that showcases Bishop and Iceman using the Mr. Sinister Relic that shaves off 10 combos worth of... Basically, it decreases the time in which I would take down an enemy champion. And it's like a lot of the time you look at that situation and go, right, I guess I better use it because like I want that extra pace. Even more so because the implication in Battlegrounds is that, hey, do you want to save time and do something where you like take down the enemy in a better situation? So you go into a passive stun where you may not have access to a passive stun via a relic. You probably go, I will probably use a relic in order to do that. I will look to improve my rotation. I will be aggressive. I will use a relic. So it's kind of like, it's a catch-22 on this. It's a really catch-22 with relics. Non-content that even emphasizes it, they weren't, then we wouldn't be talking about a pause. I wrote another thread, so I'll copy it. Oh yeah, so I think that we've read that one, haven't we? Relics are existing right now, occupy design space, but yeah, we've read that. We want to take time to reevaluate the design. I think we said that, covered that. There's also another thing when it comes to all of this. Yoda Bolt says lots of recommendations. Having said that, I could offer you a solution. Make sure they work properly. No missing hits that actually punish you for using them. That's a good point. Don't worry about adding abilities to include ones. Have each relic new ones give a class benefit. Yeah, that would be cool because then it's like you have to... That's a perfect solution, isn't it? If the class benefit is more widespread, you know, as I said, like add crit bonus, prowess, whatever. If you make them like that, then you don't have to make so many. But Kabam seem transfixed with the idea that they've got to build 250 plus relics to match the 250 plus champions. It's like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, I would kind of find that a bit kind of like weird. If I was asked to do something like with my job and be like, yeah, you got to do like this, but it's like you could, and you're like, okay, this will take 250, I would have to do this 250 times. Well, no, I could do it. My proposal would be we do this instead 250 divided by 6 classes. Then yeah, of course it's going to be a lot less. It was off the top of my head, like what was it, like 40? Yeah. So kind of like coming into like a 40 mark. Yeah. So if you did it, well, we'll only do it 40 times, for example, not 250 times plus 40 times. It just maybe would be better. But that's the thing. So when you've already done, like, committed, when Kabam started committing to this, I think they had a different idea of how it would go, and obviously it's backfired. And obviously that's the reason they're reevaluating. But in any case, Kabam Mike says that idea might sound like it's easy and would make relics more valuable, but it's the exact opposite of what we want to do. Oh, it's about what Kabam want at the end of the day. What Kabam want. You're basically talking about releasing a new mastery every other month. Masteries 2.0, where are they? Or extending RPG elements to more champions. That's more viable. That's not viable from a balance perspective. Some champs are built and balanced in a way that works because they don't have access to certain kinds of utility buffs and debuffs. So what Kabam Mike is saying is that we shouldn't have built relics because it has now caused more issues. Because why do we do this? What are we doing? This is odd. No. In all seriousness, yeah, I still find relics as a kind of like an odd thing. I think a lot of players find them an odd thing, and it does come to a point like when you're like myself. After a while, you just go, right, okay, I'll just attach these to stuff. A lot of times, I'm attaching relics to champions I have no interest of using a relic with, or maybe make zero sense to it. But what they have is that element of the striker comes out, gives me a slight bonus, but more importantly, the rotation with that passive stun is incredibly important. As other content opens up for the usage with this, it becomes that element that I like. I don't like through choice. I feel forced to like, but I just do it because it's like, well, I get a stun. The champion is, and honestly, that's so weird, isn't it? Saying, hey, by the way, oh yeah, you've got to go in when you go into this content. They're stun immune. Oh, that's great. I'll well, I guess that kind of that passive parry for the white Magneto's out of the way. Okay, it's fine. Think about my other options. Stun immune. How do I take down a stun immune? Well, there's no champions that kind of like sufficiently for say the counters on the path work around that. So everything's stun immune. No, if you've got yourself a relic, it can do a stun, but the champion's stun immune. Yes. So it's can't be stunned? Technically. Why is that? I mean, look, you know my thoughts on this one. I think that Relics would have been better as an inbuilt system into champions. I've even kind of like stated that my kind of like take on this is that I find that stat focus is a much better system rather than having a relic attached to it. Now I've got to think about, okay, now I've got my bishop with a relic attached to it because it kind of makes sense because of rotation. But as I said, forced thoughts on that particular process. In any case, thanks for watching this video. Check out some other content located on screen, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye for now. Bye.